Funky here with the Minutemen. You're listening to your host CT Rob and your other host CT Squid.
How you guys doing?
Alright, we got a great show for you guys here today. We got new Squid Files. We're going to be talking with our new Beyond Classified segment on Osama Bin Laden Death conspiracy. But first, Squid's going to give a shout out to our Twitter followers.
Carolyn Moreland, Sherry Bernstein, Lisa Smirk Gonzalez, Kay Smith, Rick Cooley, Kelly Mann Welch, Jim McCarthy Jr., Leave Trump Alone, Wah, Barbara Graver, City to City PR, Algamus, God of Thunder, Nick DeCaro, Social Media Maven. Alright, thank you guys for following us. We do appreciate it.
Yes, guys, thank you for the follow. Alright, let's get started with today's show. Alright, so, how you doing today, Squid?
And I was doing pretty good right before I read an article earlier today.
Oh yeah, about what?
Well, you're gonna love this. It's all about Pizzagate again. It's coming back around for one final swing.
Oh my god. Okay, go ahead.
Alright, so I just found this story, and this is from about 2 weeks ago. A CBS affiliate in Atlanta has been feeding the internet conspiracy mill with a new investigation with Pizzagate. And this reporter's name is Ben Swan. I guess he's been like really credible lately, but now he just has gone off the deep end.
Yeah, Ben Swan is he's a really actually credible journalist. I actually heard about this story. I saw his reality check on it. For those of you who don't know, Ben Swan has done incredible work. He was one of the first reporters to report about the origin of ISIS and how, when I first and how like ISIS really got started. One of the things he cited when he was talking about that article too was kind of, and I actually thought when Donald Trump said Obama was the founder of ISIS, I thought he was going to cite Ben Swan's report actually, but he didn't. But Ben Swan showed the report where we were arming the Syrian Syrian Free Army, I believe. Yeah, that's their name. The Free People Army, whatever the hell they are, one of those rebel groups out there. The Free People Army, I think it is of Syria. But anyway, we were arming them, and they were actually turning around and joining ISIS. And he showed videos of the terrorist group singing songs about 9/11 and how they brought down America, the great American power, with 2 jets and everything. I would like to point out too that one of the things in that story he claimed about was about our great Senator John McCain wanting to arm these rebels even further. But that is that's a whole other story, one I will probably talk about a little bit today. But I heard about this story. I heard that he's claiming that it wasn't Ping Pong Pizza, right? Or what was it called? What's that pizza place called? It's like Ping Pong Pizzeria or something.
Comet Ping Pong
there it is. Comet
Pizza
Ping Pong
Place,
Pizzeria.
Washington, D.C.
Yes, he's claiming that basically it's not that pizzeria, but from the Podesta emails, I guess there's so much reference about pizza in them that there's just a lot of reference to pizza. There just is Squid. Just a lot of pizza reference. Just pizza. So anyway, there's another place that's actually owned by another prominent person in D.C., a very well-known businessman. I can't remember his name right now. If you can pull it up, that'd be awesome. But a very prominent businessman, and he has actually gone. I guess he's under investigation for a child molestation ring, or something like, for child molestation or something like that. And basically, what Ben Swan was saying in this is there was a recent report too done about child molesters using bracelets to identify each other. Basically using triangles within triangles within triangles, basically a multi-layer triangle, like a little onion triangle. And basically this pizzeria, the other one that he's claiming that is the one that should be under investigation, has a pizza symbol that's just like that on top of the store. But here's the real conspiracy about it, Squid, is that recently after the whole Pizzagate scandal broke, they changed their sign.
Wow.
Yeah, they changed their sign. So that's kind of that whole story in a nutshell from what I've heard.
Well, when I was reading the story, it kind of goes into some other things. Like, well, now you're saying, like, with the emails, he goes, or, like, his full quote is strangely worded emails that could be code language for pedophiles.
Yeah.
And repeated so much in, like, conspiracy theory feature that could possibly, or that Alex Jones got his hands on, and just how he blasted everywhere.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, and actually, since that whole guy went in there and shot up the place and everything, they've actually backtracked a lot of those stories, taking down a lot of content off InfoWars.
Oh, yeah, I remember. We've already talked about that.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
But yeah, I mean, it just surprised me today. Like, once again, Pizzagate is coming back around for another swing. I mean,
yeah.
Why can't we just let it die?
Or why can't we talk about the BuzzFeed story about, Don getting pissed on by hookers?
I know. I mean, where's that story? I want to see another story about that.
Believe me, I want to see a wide stream all over this bed. Believe me.
Well, then, I know we're going to get into other stuff, but another story that came out today was, did you know that Donald Trump's wife is suing the Daily Mail for $150 million?
Yeah, I heard something about it. I didn't. I actually didn't read it though.
Well, I couldn't read the story since it was taken offline. But apparently, the Daily Mail posted a story about Melania is saying that the model agency she worked for was also did prostitution as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So wait, what now?
They're saying that the company she worked for was an escort service, basically. If you want to get real, it was
so she's suing the Daily Mail over that story. Oh, okay. That's interesting.
This model temp agency had nothing to do with this, and I guess Daily Mail didn't check their facts all the way through. They just heard rumors or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as they found out all the truth, they took the story down. Or she's suing them for $150 million. Is she going to get the money?
I don't know. So. I will just have to say I actually feel kind of silly defending her on this, but some of those modeling companies are shady companies.
They really are.
Some of them really are. I mean, they can be. I mean, there's been reports in the past of modeling agencies taking advantage of women, just as porn industries do. But it happens. But I don't know. We'll have to read a little more into that one. I find that very interesting. I don't know if you heard about the Republicans actually got Betsy DeVos.
Yes.
I want to speak on that a little bit here today because I want to send this out to a lot of my conservative friends out in the state. I'm just gonna be bluntly honest with you guys. It fucking sickens me that she got confirmed. It really fucking sickens me. This woman is an evangelical nut job that wants to defund public schools and privatize them. She wants to make it so our children basically are left to a broken school system, a system that is constantly under attack, a system that is constantly defunded all the time, a system where teachers can barely make a living wage as it is. And they confirmed this evangelical maniac to be the fucking Secretary of Education.
All teachers are screwed.
It's not just the teachers, man. It's the kids, man.
Yeah,
it's kids. And, I just want to say, I am so pissed off. And like I said, this goes out to my conservative friends out there. And some of you who are in favor for charter schools, who are in favor for privatized schools, many of you will not see that because some of you don't make enough money to even get your children into a private school or a charter school. Not to mention, half of you out there in the Midwest don't even have a private school near you or a charter school. You will feel that effect. You will feel that effect. It fucking sickens me, though. What fucking sickens me, and this is what I'm calling out on every fucking conservative out there, is why are you trying to make us like the enemies you fear and hate? You hate the Muslim countries because they make laws based on religious bias. They commit genocide based on religious bias. They create policy based on fucking religious bias. I'm sorry I repeated myself, but that's the fucking truth. The point I'm trying to make is now there's so much fucking separation of church and state going on right now in this country. You put a fucking crazy fucking person in there like that, man, who only believes that that schools should be talking about Jesus. What the hell is wrong with you? The reason I say that is because like the Muslim countries trying to push their religion on you, you're trying to put Christianity on the rest of us. What the hell is wrong with you? You are being no better than the Muslims you hate. You are turning this country into a Christian Saudi Arabia. Did you hear recently that Donald Trump he changed the council it's not a council, it's an organization that basically looks into radical terrorism all across the nation. Basically, they look at white supremacist movements, they look at white supremacist organizations, and radical Muslims. He cut it down to where they only look at radical Muslims. They don't give a shit about the crazy-ass evangelical Christians out there. They don't give a shit about the crazy Christians that fucking go in places, in government buildings, and take them over and say they do it in the name of God or the name of fucking conservative ideology. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you guys talking about, man? Stop being so hypocritical. I'm sorry. I'm getting so heated on this, but man. I'm sorry. I can't believe we have to have this fucking discussion.
It's a sad discussion.
No, we have to have this discussion now in 2017 about the fucking separation of church and state. I don't understand why so many people have this fucking ideology blurred. Secularism is is being attacked right now. Not to mention Donald Trump also is he went to that fucking Christian dinner.
Well, of course he did.
And was talking about how he's not going to look into, basically he's going to allow government officials to make laws and shit based off their religious bias. That is fucking nuts. We are moving to a fucking theocracy, man. It is fucking insane right now. And those out there, those people that don't care, or you're like, oh, I don't care, I've given up on politics. You need to care right now. You need to fucking care. We need to outvote these people. That's all there is to it. We need to outvote them. No, that's not the only hope. We need to outvote them. We have to move people towards a better movement. We have to move people towards better ideology. Otherwise, we're going to be no better than the fucking Muslim fucking countries they hate. Where you can't even teach where your children basically are taught Jesus without your fucking knowledge. But basically they say evolution is a optional thing to teach children. I'm not even a firm believer, and let me state this for the record. I believe in evolution to a degree. I believe it is a theory. I believe it is part of an answer. It is not the whole answer, but it is part of the answer. But the fact of the matter is that you're going to say you're not going to teach children basic science and basic common sense because your Bible says different is fucking crazy. That's no better than a Muslim saying, I'm not going to teach my children this because the Quran says differently. What's the difference? What's the difference? No, I'm sorry, Squid, I know you're a Christian, but what's the difference between a Christian person waving an American flag with an AK-47 taking over a government building compared to a Muslim holding the Quran, fucking waving an ISIS flag and taking over a government building? What's the difference?
There is no difference.
There is no difference. It's terrorism.
I know you're really heated and all, but I'm going to step in and try and get you to calm down a second. But, I do agree with you. I mean, with this woman as the Secretary of Education, and I'm going to say it again, of Education, this woman is not going to help us out.
She's not qualified whatsoever.
She's not even qualified. And you know why? Why she was picked is because Donald Trump knew she'd be the perfect person to fail at this job and just screw the American people out and just keep on saying, let's make America great again. But no, this isn't going to make America great again. We're going to get fucked over. Our schools are going to go or decline. Families that cannot, like how you said, pay for this are going to be so fucked that they actually have to go into bankruptcy to send their kids to school.
Yeah. It's going to be funny. It's sad, and that's going to be what they voted for, man.
And my mom is a teacher at a school, and me and her have talked about how much she makes in a week. I mean, last week I got paid more than her, and that's sad.
Yeah. It's crazy. You know, God, it's just amazing. You know, I just wanna let me just flip the script a little bit. I want to talk about our beloved Senator John McCain, and I want to talk about all the Arizona politicians. The Minutemen right here are declaring war on you. You better not fucking make a policy. And you better fucking watch your every fucking back when you make that policy, because I'm going to be watching every fucking substance you make, and I'm going to be reporting it here on this fucking podcast. You won't be able to scratch your fucking ass without me knowing about it. And that goes out to our beloved senators, John McCain and Jeff Flake. Let me kick this off for you guys right now. I know I said a little bit about John McCain earlier, but here, I'm going to just lay the groundwork. One of the reasons Betsy DeVos got into the position she is, and if you are outraged as I am, you want to know this. So John McCain took $50,000 in campaign contribution from the DeVos and her family, and that's actually why Trump put her in there, is because she gave Trump a ton of money.
Oh, I knew that.
But that's besides the fact. If you do not see the conflict of interest in that, then you are blind. Let me repeat that for you. Let me repeat that for everyone. John McCain took $50,000 from Betsy DeVos and her family during his campaign. $50,000.
That's insane.
That's a lot of money. And you mean to tell me there's no conflict of interest with that?
There should, or I don't even know what's going on now, and just how people didn't know that she gave all this money to Donald Trump and said, "Hey, here's this job for giving me so much money."
Yeah.
And you know what? My biggest thing is with Senator Flake. Me and Rob both called you to try and get you to change your mind about her. And you didn't answer the phone. You didn't do shit.
You didn't answer the phone. And then I hear reports that you didn't care about it. You know, how dare you say you stand up for Arizona? I used to think you were a good guy, Flake. I did. I actually thought you were a good guy. But now I see you're just like all the other fucking conservatives out for his own. And you know what? I will be leading a campaign against you. And I will be railing on every policy you make that affects our state. And I will report to every one of my listeners and everyone on this show who wants to listen to real campaign policy and substance. I will report that to you. Because these two guys, they're pulling a veil over your fucking eyes right now. John McCain, he plays to you guys. Okay?
He patted his pocket.
Well, no, it's not just that. He peddles towards our voters here in Arizona. When he was against Trump, he knew he had to go back on it. So he fucking stepped the fuck back and said, "Oh, I actually support Donald Trump." And then once he got reelected back to Arizona, he's like, "I actually don't like John McCain. I actually don't like Donald Trump." But he is a wolf in sheep's clothing. He is. I actually have been lately giving him some credit a little bit. One, when he said we are witnessing before our eyes the world deteriorating to before World War II.
Yeah.
He said the world is getting dangerous. I agreed with him on that. Then he came out with that ridiculous military budget.
Oh.
Ridiculous military budget for the country. Of course he wants to do that. And you know, he stood up against for torture. Okay, props to that. But you know what? Let me give you another thing that John McCain has said. Every single rebel group that has come about and asked America for aid, he has been an advocate to arming. If you don't believe me, look it up. Every single rebel group that has come to fruition who has said, "Hey, can you guys give us the money to overthrow this government?" He has said, "Hey, you know, why don't we give them money, guys?" You know, if you hate intervention and you hate all the fucking wars and giving proxy wars to all these rebels and shit, then why do you like John McCain, Arizona? Then why are you voting for him? I'm so confused. You vote against your own interest all the time. We'll be right back.
As the polls close like a casket, our truth devour.
Alright, and we're back with CT Steve.
Hey guys.
And there was something I forgot to mention, a little more when I was talking about the whole turning this fucking religion, turning into the religious Saudi Arabia here in this country. One of the things, if you don't believe me, if you say, oh, well, the only problem is radical Islam. Did you know that Donald Trump has not tweeted once about the mosque shooting in Canada?
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Did you know that? Did you guys also know that the Dylan Roof who shot those people, they did not call that a terrorist attack? But do you guys remember when that one black guy shot that reporter? What was that? That was an act of terrorism.
Well, it just goes to show, just like you said earlier in the show, that if you are not a radical Muslim or any person of really anybody of a different race or a different religion that's other than Christian, then you're considered. Then you're pretty much considered a radical terrorist. And anything you do, this guy was definitely. He was a lone act guy. He did it by himself. It was
Trump supporter. He
did it because of the election. He said it himself.
Yeah.
He did these acts. People were shot, and 6 people, and nothing from him. But he's on Twitter every day. Every day we're hearing something from him. I mean seriously, like every day, like a constant news feed. He's on there and he's screaming about this, he's antagonizing that, but nothing from this one thing. And that's and that's the thing we're trying to tell you people is, if you're not gonna believe us, believe what the man you're supporting is doing. Yeah. He's basically ignoring one fact and shoving the other false facts in your face.
Yeah.
So it's to this point where if you're just a average Joe coming home from work, you turn on Fox News, you get all scared. Oh my God, they're getting closer and closer to our house. I better buy myself guns to protect my family. But you're not hearing the whole story. You're not hearing about people that are sort of like you, come home regular day, they get scared. I got to get them before they get me.
That's funny. I want to just acknowledge 2 points that you were saying. You were saying, this whole ideology, everyone's scared. It's kind of like in the 1960s with the Red Scare, where it was like, oh my God, we gotta stop communism.
Big, huge scare. I mean, they had ads. Yeah. They had bunker ads. Protect your family. Are you safe from red? You know what I mean? Yeah, if you're red, you're dead. Those were actual ads from the 60s that were fear-mongering people into submission, and it happened, and we're seeing it today.
The other thing I wanted to bring up is what you were saying, though, was about Fox News. Oh, did you guys not only hear that they put out a false, I would like to point out, fake news statement that the shooter was Muslim-based.
Muslim-based.
And then the Canadian Prime Minister came out and said, hey, that's not the fucking fact.
That's not the facts.
And
they had to change.
They retracted that. So, all you people who go, Fox News is the real political news. Right there, your own fucking news organization was decided pushing a false story and a false narrative.
It's because Donald Trump loves Fox News so much.
Well, they're writing his narrative.
Well, I was gonna just say that they're writing his narrative plot, so he's going to back them. It's kind of like they're like a subsequent donor to him. You gotta kowtow to them. But we're talking about Fox News. Aren't they corporate? Isn't Fox in general a corporation?
Isn't it the establishment?
Isn't the establishment one of the main establishments in this country? I don't understand how people can say that they're the ones that are going to tell you the absolute truth and not lie to you, and they're one of the top companies in the country.
I know.
Almost seriously, the world. I mean, if you could think about it.
Yeah, no, I know.
I mean, it's hypocritical, and just like you said, it's so stupid that, there's all these facts that are going by, and again, you got to do your homework. Yeah. I've said it before, I'm going to keep saying it. You have to do your due diligence and look it up. You got to say, I don't know if that's right about what he said. It doesn't make you a bad person. Go over there and check it out. Check your own facts and do your own research and be like, okay, maybe that was true, or maybe that wasn't.
Just don't be a partisan hack.
Just don't be do not be a spineless, brainless person who's just going to believe anything anybody says. And then if someone retorts you, you go out and you scream in their face, you're spitting on their shoes, you're punching them in the face. That's only fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
It's only fuel to the fire, and it just makes it stupid. And you know who's winning when you do that on both sides? Donald Trump. He's sitting there smiling, lying, laugh. This guy is there. What do you think? He's fazed by what's going on? Like, I mean, dude, when the Women's March happened, he was like looking out his window, smiling and laughing at it. And these people just don't understand that. Oh, he's not getting the message. No, he's getting the message loud and clear. He's interpreting his own way.
Yeah.
And that's what we're getting on the Fox News.
Yeah. You know, I wanted to bring up another story too today. Real quick, did you guys see that interview he did with Bill O'Reilly?
Oh yes, my God!
Did you hear about the? Well, I want to just talk about the Putin part of it.
Oh,
because
my God,
I feel the need to have. I'm sorry to have this conversation again, and I'm gonna scream this to my friends in the mainstream media. I'm gonna scream this to our listeners. I need you guys to understand this, okay? This will help you guys in your arguments against these right-wing nutjobs because this is the truth. If you don't believe me, do your homework. Go look at all the headlines, okay? Okay, here it goes. The alt-right, Alex Jones, David Duke, they like Vladimir Putin. They don't care if Donald Trump acts like an authoritarian. They do not care. They revere Putin. They like Putin. Steve Bannon likes Putin. They like him. They think he's a fighter against the NWO. You know, you can actually go in and type in Putin on YouTube, and you will pull up a few videos that says Putin against the NWO. Putin is almost assassinated by the NWO. Yeah. Putin is leading the way against the NWO. Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin are leading the fight against the NWO.
The lone fighters.
That's all you will see. That's all you. They like Vladimir Putin. Alex Jones fucking tried to mimic him in a photo, a shirtless, where he's on a fucking horse. Like a fucking, oh my God!
It's just
that video or that photo is probably the most
that
hilarious
photo is
thing
hilarious.
It's not even funny to me. I just find it more sad. It's just like because people are liking it. People are supporting that. That's what's the problem is.
But because they believe the truth that comes from Alex Jones.
But that's not the point though. I'm trying to make the point I'm trying to make too is for my mainstream media friends and everyone on the left, the right, the fucking Justice Democrats, the fucking corporate Democrats, the actual conservatives, and whatever you want to call yourself, Republicans. You guys need to realize they like Vladimir Putin. There's no, they like him. Yeah. They just like him, guys. If you're sitting there wondering why his supporters are not, I don't care if he acts away, because they like it. They want that. They like to be strong-armed. And I don't want to be, not all of you, but I'm sure I'll piss a few of you off, but a lot of you are fucking beta males out there. That's all you fucking are. You follow the alpha male. Donald Trump is your alpha male. And you're going around calling people cuck, and all that shit. You're a fucking beta male. You're a bitch.
You are.
You're a fucking bitch.
You are a follower.
You're a follower. But enough on that. Squid, you had you wanted to talk about something about the Department of Defense?
Yes. All right. As you guys know, I mean, when we have a president, they have people that carry the suitcase, basically the football, and then a booklet with all of our national nuclear codes and all that kind of fun stuff. Well, since Donald Trump lives in Trump Tower in the penthouse, the Department of Defense is trying to lease out an entire floor for their personnel because they need space to make sure that if need be, they can get up to Trump and say, hey, you need to do this right now.
Yeah.
Well, what I don't understand is this. Why they're still allowing Donald Trump to live in Trump Towers? Because, as we all know, Trump Organization, Trump Media, and all that fun stuff is in Trump Towers.
Yeah.
So if he ever wanted to, he could, say, like on the weekends when he actually goes over there, if he wants to go down and check on the business, I mean, I don't think the Secret Service is going to stop him and say, no, you can't go down there.
Well, first thing first, I want to talk about, they shouldn't be letting him go down there, one, because he's not supposed to be involved in the business at all. That's one of the things. Second of all is the taxpayer dollars that are being wasted to make this whole, leasing a reality. And for them to operate, I think is pretty sad, because that shows you a couple things. One, he does not give a shit enough about national security or the intelligence agency to even merit the idea of, hey, maybe they should be close to me whether something pops up that I need to know about. So so they're asking him to lease an office in there, and he didn't ask them. They're asking him. I think that is a very scary prospect, and I just want to say too, if a terrorist attack does happen on his watch, I'm gonna say this is what's gonna happen too. His supporters, one, are gonna say we told you so. He's gonna say we told you so, and no one's gonna look at the fact that it was because of his bullshit ass fucking security measures that he's not taking.
Well, you just said it before. It's the follow the leader mentality. Why would you question your leader if he's telling you I told you so? You're going to repeat.
But do you see what I'm saying though? The whole they're just going to turn it around.
They're going to just turn it.
It's going to be like Bush. Remember when no one ever looked at George Bush for being at fault for 9/11. No one ever put him at fault. Everyone only looked past it and saying, "Oh, he's uniting the country. He's keeping us safe. He's keeping us safe." When it turns out in reality, it took you guys almost 8 years to realize.
I'm going to say this. And when the initial threat happened, and he went on television, and we all saw him, people were backing him, just as you just said.
Yeah,
people were not questioning facts. The people were too afraid to say anything, but just follow the leader. But yeah, just like you said, I would say probably about a year or two later, that's when you start seeing the facts and the jokes, and everybody start coming out, and then they were questioning this guy. Oh, why did he do this? And then obviously it. Chain effect. But yeah, I do agree, because I think it's going to be the same effect under Donald Trump, because we're dealing with a similar fear but in a different retrospective, because we're dealing with different times. We haven't dealt with a physical or mental attack from any terrorism right now.
No.
But if it does happen, which I'm not saying it is, but yeah, he's going to be the first one who's going to come out, and he's not going to be apologetic to or sympathetic to the American people. He's this type of person who's going to be like, "Oh, where are my haters now? Who I told you so. I told you so." He's going to say that first, and like you said, his followers are going to say the same thing. "I told you this was going to happen. I told you. I told you.
Donald Trump told you.
Yeah, we told you."
Great again. You didn't listen
right,
to him.
And just increasing the fear. So, like you said, that is a dangerous practice right there, and no one's talking about it. No one's seeing that past that veil of him, and it's incredible, because have we ever dealt with a president like this that has such a I don't even know what to say, like on a group. Just it's crazy to me that he's got this stranglehold on these people. I've said it before. He's got this kind of connection with the people, and they are just there with him.
All right. Well, I want to go around the table and ask you guys a quick notation here. Do you guys think that this that every check and balance has failed in our country so far with him? I'm gonna just go on the first thing. I'm gonna say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
There were checks, balance, and standards from his taxes to the business interests, to the conflicts of interest. Everything is being overwritten, and I'm still sitting here at my desk right now wondering why.
He's running it like his business already.
Yeah.
He's running it like he's running Trump's. Yeah. Well,
we're letting him.
It's kind of funny because they're giving us subtle hints. I don't know if you guys seen all the press conferences from like Sean Spicer and himself and his directives. They're giving subtle hints. They're giving subtle hints that we're doing our due diligence. We're there. We're helping. They're running it like a business, and it's failing. When you listen, okay, but listen to this. If you run a business, okay, and you're a CEO, and that business fails, and you have to, which he's known for doing this, going bankrupt. Can you bankrupt a company like that? Can you
bankrupt the country?
Can you? I mean, really? But that's what I mean. You can't, because a country cannot recover like a business. We are dealing with people's lives and families. You can't recover like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there. And I'm going to bring up what Donald Trump did about 2 weeks ago. It was with Mexico. And a lot of people are not going to know this in Arizona. If Trump goes through with this ban with Mexico, 6 million jobs in Arizona are going to be lost.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And because you know how shocking that is because we rely so much on Mexico. And
a tariff on us would be horrible for Arizona. It would be terrible for us.
Devastating.
Yeah,
I mean, who wants to pay $20 for an avocado?
And again, Senator McCain and Jeff Flake, is that what you want? Is that what you want? Is that worth it? Is that how much of a party follower you are that you would seriously hurt the citizens of Arizona to do that? I think you would. Alright guys, we're going to end it with the Minutemen here today. We're going to be back with our Beyond Classified segment. Stay with us. Alright everybody, put your tinfoil hats on, because it's time for Beyond Classified. Alright, for today's show we're going to be talking about the man, the notorious man that, I guess you could say he's kind of the reason all this began, from the, Muslim ban to 9/11 to the fear of just radical Muslims in general, and we're going to be talking about Osama Bin Laden. And let me first paint you the narrative of who Osama Bin Laden is. He was a CIA operative, I might add, that was in Afghanistan. He was actually trained by the CIA. He was given weapons by the CIA in the Mujahideen, which was a group of which was the Taliban, and they were fighting the Soviets. And if you've never seen or read the book Charlie Wilson's War, it is a direct reference to this story. Charlie Wilson was a Texas senator who was the leading cause for getting these rebel groups weapons. He helped arm Bin Laden and the Taliban, and then during 9/11, they came and attacked us. Now, many people say that Osama Bin Laden orchestrated the attacks on 9/11. When that happened, there was a huge war. We went into Iraq and Afghanistan looking for him, supposedly. And then he vanished for, almost, 8 years?
About roughly around there.
8-9 years. And then President Obama supposedly killed him. The story goes is that SEAL Team 6 found the intelligence of him. He was in Pakistan. They crossed Pakistani borders, and they crossed, truces and treaties to get to him. They broke into his house. There was a firefight that ensued. They killed him. They took his body, and they buried him at sea. And then that was the official story done by President Obama. Now, since then, there's been quite a lot of conspiracies brought up about his death. Let's just first start kicking off this story by saying we don't refute or deny these facts, that we just present them as is. But I will always tell you, my listeners, that I'll tell you which bullshit and what's not. In this story, I actually have a really hard time debunking, because this one is very, very interesting. I mean, there's 3 stories that really come to light when you look into this conspiracy, and they're very one of them makes sense, one of them, and then the 2 make even more sense, but they're very scary if they are true. They very are true. So let's start with the first one here, which is the fact that Osama Bin Laden. The story is that Osama Bin Laden was initially dead to begin with. He died of liver cirrhosis, I believe it was, or liver disease. There were reports. Actually, there were reports. There was even an obituary that was put out in a newspaper.
There was, yes, I remember this.
That cited his death. It talked about a very prominent Taliban leader has died by the name of Osama Bin Laden, and that he was dead. I can't remember her name. I can't remember. She was the Prime Minister of Pakistan for a while. She died in an assassination. I'm so sorry, I can't remember her name. She said Osama Bin Laden was dead shortly before her assassination. I believe even George Bush said during one time that he was like, he's dead. I don't know where he's at. He's dead. He's dead. So there was a few times.
He said presumed dead.
He said presumed dead.
Yeah, he did say that.
He said he's presumed dead. So there was that story. Now, here's how the first conspiracy fits into this. And I want to ask you guys what you think. We'll go through each of them. So the first conspiracy goes like this. That he was dead a long time ago, and that basically SEAL Team 6 raided some random Joe or another military target's house, blew them away, took his body, and then they killed that person, took that body, and then buried the real body at sea. Obama claims it's his. America's united. I want to know what you guys think of that one.
Well,
let's start it off with this. Do you guys think he's dead? I want to know.
Personally, do I think he's dead?
Do you think he's dead?
I can't give you a yeah or no because part of me thinks that he is.
Because some of this research we've done
but the research,
crazy.
well, I'm just saying. When it happened, this happened in May of 2011.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't know. It's kind of weird because when you initially get the news, it's it was shocking.
Yeah.
And you think, damn, is he really dead? Everybody would question it because we've been trying to rush him for this guy for years. But I don't know. I'm leaning more towards a no right now after this research that I've seen. I did personally. This is personally for me. I think that he's I don't know. It's just too much. There's too much. Yeah. What do you think, Squid?
If I have to be honest, I think he is dead. Both the slim chance of he could be hiding out somewhere.
Okay, fair enough. I'm actually going to reserve mine till last. My opinion last, because I have a pretty unique one here on this one. I think too. I'll just say I'm not on the fence though. With this.
It's really just two ways about it.
Yeah, this new research actually kind of convinced me on some interesting stories here. So we're all convincing that he is dead. So we gave you the first conspiracy. Now I'm going to give you the second one. Now this one's really interesting, and this was done by a British journalist here in 2017. He published an article talking about, have we been told the truth about Osama Bin Laden? In it, he states that not only did Pakistan and the United States know where Bin Laden was, but they betrayed him. That's right, because he is a CIA operative. He was and let's state for the record too, so everyone knows
the CIA operative is also a conspiracy.
Yeah,
him being a CIA, like it was never like he was. And in the media,
although he was trained by them,
he was in the early 80s.
Yes,
but he was not. It wasn't. Let's just give that disclaimer. He never came out. It never came out.
Whatever you want to say, buddy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the guy who supposedly was trained by the CIA but is not a CIA operative. Fuck. Goddamn you, Steve. So the guy trained by the CIA is not a CIA operative. So the story was that he was betrayed by Pakistan and America because they needed to give him up. He needed to be given up to basically help President Obama and help President Obama's legacy. That's one of the conspiracies about it, is that he was given up. He was basically, they said, hey, you know what, guys? There's just too much going on right now with these policies. There's too much of the American people digging too deep into things. We need to have some kind of distraction, some type of false flag, as you want to say. Let's give this guy up. And there's I don't know if have you heard of this, Steve? The other reason too, when it goes back to the dead one too, is because have you heard about the videos? Many videos done with him are some of them presumed to be fake.
Right, I did see those. There was presumed videos about, and there's a lot. There's a lot of these short videos of him, presumably that are not him after his death, that were claimed by other independent media sources.
Yeah.
I did some research on this.
Not just that, but what America would do too is they would take his tapes and they would hold on to them, and anytime they needed to push,
if they needed to push something, that is spot on. Every single time, and you can go back if you don't believe us. You can go back. He was definitely the boogeyman. Actually, he was actually nicknamed the boogeyman because every single time, if you would go back, this is back in 2005 was one of them, 2007, and right before they caught him, the year before in 2010. These are three prominent years where we were having big trouble in Iraq. People were protesting very hard in 2005 for the war. I don't know if you guys remember that.
By Obama.
Yeah, but people were protesting really hard. They were having concerts, and what happened? Boom, another tape came out.
Yeah.
It calmed people down back in 2007.
I'm sorry, Obama wasn't there.
Yeah, no, not yet. 2007, when Obama was reaching his peak. Here comes another tape of him.
Yeah.
2010. This is 2 years. He's already in by 2 years. This is right when they were talking about the next election, what's going to happen with Obama.
Yeah.
There's another tape that comes out, and then the next year, May the 2nd, 2011, he's pronounced dead.
Buried at sea with Muslim, which makes no. And see, that's what I wanted to bring out.
It's too crazy.
That was one of the things I thought that automatically struck me. Is I remember where I was and when I was, and the whole burial at sea is what struck me as a conspiracy.
Yeah, well, but with Muslims, it's a 24-hour process for their law to be buried.
Yeah.
And I find that to be interesting. When you have 24 hours to bury a person, you can't do an autopsy, you can't do anything.
Well, not just that, but you can't do an autopsy for the most hated man on the face of the planet.
Place of planet, yeah.
And let me get into that, because that's where I'm going to be, where this conspiracy for me really hits home on the sense of how it's hard to disprove. And believe me, guys, I tried to disprove this one as much as I could. So here, I'm going to give you the third one, the third and final conspiracy here about this, and then we're going to get into some of the substance on why some of these conspiracies can be backed up. And this is by someone we actually, a lot of people in the mainstream media cite as a very credible source. We've cited him on here on the show. A lot of people advocate for his release, and that's Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden says he has evidence that not only is Osama Bin Laden alive, but he is living comfortably in the Bahamas with his many wives. The fact that everyone knows that he's dead leaves it very easy for him to hide. All he did was shave his beard and just dress differently, and no one recognizes him. And that comes again from Edward Snowden, with the guy who did all the reports on the NSA. And that to me was one of the most interesting conspiracies I had read in this whole thing that I had no idea about.
It's eye-opening.
That one was eye-opening for me, and in a way, it makes a lot of sense. Because he says straight up, why would the CIA kill its own? And that's when I was like, there's some truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that. Why would they kill their own? Because it looks bad on the CIA if they kill their own.
Well, I looked into this article as well, and I initially agreed about that. I was like, why would they kill their own? That's a big myth, on top of a myth, but or conspiracy rather. But I also thought to myself, if he's under total constant surveillance by the U.S. government, and we know where he is at all times, and he does shave his beard, because let me just be honest with you, let me be frank, if he shaved his head and he shaved his beard right now, the man he was 54 presumably when he passed. Would you know? You would just think he would just be another frail old man.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's not going to be flaunting his wives around. He's going to be under constant surveillance. They're going to make sure. The CIA would make sure you don't recognize him. Yeah. Even if you did on the off chance, you're going to just, presumably, it's just another person walking the streets.
Well, but with all the reports and everything, when I was studying this too, and just when they had him on the ship, they said that they took a DNA sample from him, and they confirmed it was...
Where's the evidence?
It was him, and then right after they laid him out to sea... the other thing that kind of has me believing, like, some of it is that just where this compound was basically a mile away from a Pakistani
military academy.
Yeah, military academy.
Right in the heart of Pakistan. It's not like he was in a remote village.
Yeah, here's the other side of the people. Well, you know why? Because he's ballsy. He's just so crazy of a man that he doesn't care where he is, really. The man's been hiding. He's hiding in plain sight. Really, he's going to be like, I'm going to risk all these years on the run.
Yeah.
Run in quotations to just be miles away from a facility that can capture me.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that I kind of think, I don't think SEAL Team 6 killed him, but I do believe they found, like, how in the reports say they found, like, all of his videotapes, like, flash drives, DVDs, and all this kind of stuff. I do believe that we did release some of his videos. Like, you brought up those dates. We released those videos.
On specific sets of time.
On specific sets, yeah.
And, like, he was able to get away and kind of stay
So your opinion is that he was on the run the whole time, and that he was
I don't even think he stopped running.
So you don't think he was an operative, right? Is that what you're saying? You think he was on the run, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, that's fine.
I would like to believe he was a CIA operative. I would just want to see more proof to it.
I get what you're saying. Now we're going to get into that right now. So we just give you the 3 conspiracies that we've found out about this. Now we're going to give you why they're back. So one of the arguments I hear a lot about is SEAL Team 6. SEAL Team 6. They did it. They killed him. We have, they're there. They're witnesses. Well, actually, I don't know if you know, but most of them are dead.
Yeah.
Most of SEAL Team 6 is dead. And what was considered the most tragic mass loss of life in Afghanistan in the war. They were killed by an RPG that hit their helicopter. what was interesting about that, and this is a story for another day, was the intelligence that was given up to give away that position. That's another conspiracy that needs to be looked
by
into.
Anonymous source.
By anonymous source that gave away their position. Now, the ones that are alive did write books.
A lot of them did.
Well, two. Two wrote books. The only two wrote books. Now, of the two that wrote books, both accounts are conflicting. Both accounts don't coincide with each other. One guy actually claims to say that he shot him. The other guy says that that's not what happened. And the real guy who shot him wouldn't come forward. But one of the most interesting things I seen was that the other guy said he had pictures of Osama Bin Laden.
Which we've seen. It's on the internet now.
It's a fake.
Yeah.
It's
the smashed up picture we've seen.
All fake.
They're
I
all
looked and I was just getting to that. And that's the next piece of evidence people always cite. Photos.
Oh.
There are none. There are none. No, not one.
No,
not one. There is not one photo that is real. Look it up. Not one is real. All photoshopped, all face morphed. There is not one shred of evidence. In fact, the one that they initially they first put out with his face dead, it's like that ugly face.
The ugly face.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know if you guys heard this. One of the senators in Congress was given that photo, and he said, "Oh, this is too gruesome to show to the American public, so we should."
Remember.
He saw that photo, the fake photo. He didn't see a real photo. He saw a fake one.
Well, that's the one that you bring up. If you Google him, Osama Bin Laden Death, there's a couple, but what's the most predominant one? It's the one that's the most beat up face. There's another one that's like a claymation model, a face morph one.
One of them is from fucking Black Hawk Down.
And what?
Yeah, one of them is a fake photo from Black Hawk Down.
Yes, and when you look at that, you just right there, they're pretty much just telling you that all of these are fake.
They won't release them. They won't release them. And see, this is they won't release any of the evidence. I've watched the video. I've watched the raid video. It proves nothing. There's absolutely nothing. People that are saying there, well, what about the video? There's nothing in there.
The video is not clear enough.
It's not. No. There's nothing in there.
Let me tell you what's in the video. If for the people that don't know, it's a bunch of jarbled sound. There's a bunch of yelling.
Night vision.
And night vision. You can't make out in night vision. I'm sorry, you just can't.
Yeah.
Night vision is good, but you can't see the man's face. You can't hear his voice. There's no identification on him, and the video stops short.
Yeah, the video stops really short.
It's kind of. This is another thing. I'm just gonna lay on the show right now as I'm talking about it. But that right there kind of lays down the fact that if that video cuts short, why wasn't it longer? Wouldn't they do it like a crime scene? Because they're trained like that. The military, if you kill somebody that is a high of importance, or if it's an assassination, you are trained to film that location as if you are part of CSI. So if that was cut short, seconds after the kill, why wasn't that released? Why is that the tape that's only pronounced everywhere that although it's a leaked video, but it's only been cut? Where's the other half? It seems like someone did a poorly job edit where it just cuts. It's like a YouTube video with these jump cuts. It's just like there's the cut.
There's even reports out there that SEAL Team 6 didn't actually even kill Osama Bin Laden. It's actually been reported that the Pakistani government actually was doing an investigation on a guy who they thought was Osama Bin Laden. They broke into the house, the compound where he was, and they shot and killed him, found out he wasn't Osama Bin Laden. When they reported it to the United States, SEAL Team 6 was sent in and stole the bodies. That's one of the reasons they say the video could be cut short, is they actually stole the bodies, and then they had to do a fake burial to cover up the botch. Now, some of you guys are saying, okay, well, that some of that's, that could be credible. Like I said, let's just lay out all the evidence here. So you got people who were there. Half of them are dead. The other ones who wrote the books and gave witness accounts, they're different.
Very conflicting stories. There's no
evidence.
Yeah, there's none.
No hard evidence whatsoever. What leaves that? I mean, that leaves a big hole open to a lot of interpretation of a lot of this. It really does. It's a very unique conspiracy when I was looking into it, and for me, I actually believe he's dead. I believe they let him go, though. I don't believe that was really him that died. I don't believe they really killed him, because here's the other argument I hear a lot I hear a lot, and I hear it from sometimes the most cynical, hardcore, right-wing people I hear is, well, the photos would prove they're too violent. They're too violent. They're too bullet-ridden. You know, okay, that's fair, okay. So, when Adolf Hitler died, they had no problem taking pictures of his body. When Stalin died, even though it was natural, they had no problem taking pictures of his body. Mussolini was pried up in the middle of Rome and beaten to death with his mistress and hung and strung up for everyone to see.
Pictures galore.
Gaddafi. Pictures galore. Saddam Hussein. Pictures galore. But the point I'm trying, and it goes the opposite for the other side. ISIS films themselves cutting off American heads. What do? We put it on the internet, and some of us label it as entertainment. But the point I'm trying to make is, do not fucking sit there and tell me America is not gruesome. America doesn't want to see that kind of stuff. But even more so, in the history of the world, we make examples of people that do these kind of things. We show you what happens when you go against humanity. And if some of you are saying, well, that's just wrong that they did that to Mussolini, was it? Was it, though? Was it wrong what they did to Hitler? He massacred almost 3 million people.
He almost extinguished
the Jewish race. But the point is that humanity has ways of making examples of people. We show you why you shouldn't be a dictator. We show you why we need to have freedoms. So you mean to tell me, and this is the argument I make to a lot of people, you mean to tell me the most hated man on the face of the planet, I can't see his dead face? I can't see his dead face?
It's just too bloody.
It's too
bloody. Think of the children. Think of the little children. They're going to grow up, and they're going to be like, oh my god, I remember that vivid picture of this smashed up, I can't even identify it being a human face. Really.
It's better than nothing.
It's
better
baffling.
Than nothing.
It's just baffling.
And I actually don't believe they have those pictures at all. I don't think they do. In fact, there was a report that they were saying they were trying to destroy the photos of them.
Well, I mean, I would agree to that. I mean, I saw like a couple of pictures. 2 were actually changed from somebody else.
Yeah, there's not one photo that's real. There's not one photo that's real. None of them are real. I spent so long looking through so many pictures, so many stories to do this report for everybody today that, I mean, it was pretty exhausting because there is not. I even came across a photo that I thought was real, and it actually came from one of the Marines that wrote the book. He actually said he had a hard drive with photos on it, and then a girl on Fox actually presented this photo out, and it was a morphed photo. It was a morph of a different person's face, so it wasn't real.
Wow.
So there is not one shred of evidence. There's not one. The only evidence you have is eyewitness testimony, which a lot of people will agree, eyewitness testimony nowadays is not always the best, because they have done studies where you can have 2 people see a similar event, and then they've gone and asked them a week later, they said, what happened? And they will give a similar report. Then they will ask them 2 weeks later, and they'll be not the same at all. So the longer and longer the memory goes on, the more distorted they become. So, what evidence do you have, believers? That's what we're asking here on Beyond Classified. What evidence do you have on this one? Because for us, I don't know. Again, I'm going to go around the table and I'm just going to say, I'm going to start off and say, yeah, I think he was alive. I think they let him go. I think he was he was the boogeyman.
He was the informative.
Because you know what's even funnier is there was no exact claim that he did 9/11. And a lot of people don't know, but a lot of propaganda goes really, really over your eyes. For example, did you guys know when Hitler, and I'm not saying he wasn't a bad guy, I'm just saying they did this, but when Hitler was given speeches sometimes, Americans would dub over the German in different subtitles, so you thought he was saying things that were more sinister than what he was really saying. And I'm not saying that Osama Bin Laden did not stake claim for 9/11, but I'm simply saying that they could have easily put a lot of fucking words on those
we've
videos.
seen it before. I've just mentioned it before in the 50s with the whole Red is Dead It's called fear-mongering, guys. It's happening now. You're really going to say that never happened, really? And in United States history, there's never been recorded, documented fear-mongering. Okay.
Right. I think you're a communist, and you need to go to jail.
But let me before you go around the table, let me quickly ask you both this question at the same time. Do you honestly think, with all this evidence that we've researched on this topic, that will we ever get the full truth from the government? We just now last year got the full representation documents from the JFK shooting from the government. They released all documents, all personal records,
and they proved nothing.
Nothing. But here's the thing: it proved nothing because it's how many years ago? People have debunked the thing so long. You can't give us information that we already have.
Are you saying you think JFK was not a conspiracy?
That's another topic for another show.
You don't think it was a conspiracy?
It's another topic for another show. But
wow.
What I'm saying
I
is,
actually think JFK was a huge conspiracy.
But what I'm saying is, do you guys honestly think that we'll ever, in our lifetimes at least, get the full truth, the full story about behind Osama Bin Laden?
All right, I'm gonna go first with this, and you might agree with me about this, but I believe no. I don't think we will ever get the truth about him. I mean, they're gonna keep it secret for as long as possible until they just, like, our great-great-great-grandchildren will actually find the truth. And they'll wonder, who was this person? I never learned about him. And that's when, like, we'll possibly ever find out. It's so far down, we don't even care.
Well, it's the thing of, like, it's the safest thing about you'll learn them in the textbooks, because who's going to care at that point? But, Rob, honestly, same question. Do you honestly think that we'll get the truth?
No. I don't believe we will ever get the full truth on the Osama Bin Laden death, and I have a couple reasons why. When it comes to the older conspiracies like JFK, back then those were, I guess you could say, first-timers. There were times when, like, our government took risks for the first time. Because I actually believe JFK was killed by our government. It's actually been proven in court that it's a conspiracy, but it's another story, as you said. But old conspiracies like that, it's hard for them to hold up to a lot of the new technology that's out today. It's hard for a lot of old conspiracies to I guess I can say it's easier to prove the old conspiracies and to look into them. Even though the evidence is gone, with technology you can still go back and recreate to declassify, and there are still trinkles of evidence that come out here and there, because sometimes the case is just so old they just don't think people care no more. That's one of the reasons a lot of UFO documents go disclosed now. The other thing I want to say is about on the full story of it. No, I don't think we'll ever get the full story, because right now, if you haven't heard, and I'm not trying to get into the subject, but Steve Bannon is running the department without a paper trail. He's not using a paper trail to document anything. We're living in a day and age where people are learning from the mistakes of people in the past. So if you are out to commit some type of conspiracy or even, entertain a conspiracy, you're not going to leave a paper trail. You're not going to leave a private email server. You're not going to do those things. Because we've already seen what happens when people get caught, and it's a floodgate of scandal. It's a floodgate of, look what happened. It can bring down a whole person's candidacy. That's why I don't think we'll ever get the truth, and I say that on the basis of that. It's not that the truth isn't there. It's that it will be suppressed to the point of where there won't even be any knowledge of it.
I think it's just going to be suppressed to the point where... It would be
as if Napoleon was never there.
Yeah. I mean, they can basically write history.
Yeah, they can purge, and they're even doing that right now. They're purging
documents.
The EPA of climate change. They're trying to purge a lot of climate people that believe in climate change, and they're trying to suppress a lot of scientists right now. So yeah, stories like this, when they come out, there's a lot of evidence for them. There is. But, I just want to leave our listeners with this one more thought, though, before we kick off, we end Beyond Classified and we head into our Squid Files and the Minutemen. But here's one thing. I remember exactly where I was when they announced Osama Bin Laden's death, and I want you guys' take on this, too, a little bit. So, I remember where I was. I was sitting at home, and you know what I was watching? The Apprentice.
No.
No, but that's the point. is that during this time period, Donald Trump was leading the campaign against Obama's birth certificate. And remember what the biggest joke for everyone was when that all came out was how long it took Obama to get to the podium. And the first thing that struck my mind was, holy shit, he's giving a big FU to Donald Trump right now. He's saying not only can I cut this feed and do whatever the fuck I want because I'm president, but I'll take as long as I want to get to the podium too. And you know what? And that was time Donald Trump did not get back. I always found it very interesting the grudge he had against Obama because, as everyone knows, he's a very thin-skinned person who holds very tight grudges. So I always thought, I wonder if some of the things he does is because he's like, you took my 30 minutes.
I mean, that's a pretty damning evidence. I don't remember where I was when it happened, but I mean, I just think about it because recently the person who took over The Apprentice is Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he actually went, he actually went after him. He gave a dig to him about his ratings.
Yeah, but that could be, some people, and I kind of see it too. Some people think that's all just for ratings.
But this is what I mean. Yeah. He's a thin-skinned individual. He goes for the cheap shots, and then when someone gives it back to him, he whines and complains. Because are you
sure you're not talking about Jimmy Dorn?
Oh my God! But really? Let's not bring him up. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of a crazy analogy there because he really is that type of person, and obviously, and that's forthcoming because many years later, look where we are. But I mean, it's just crazy.
Well, like his two popular kind of grudges he's ever had against somebody is Rosie O'Donnell, and then a little part of it was Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart, really? Why?
He made fun of her, from Robert Pattinson or
from
something.
Twilight. Yeah, from Twilight time.
He made fun of her for that kind of shit. I mean, are you serious?
Donald Trump was like, he's probably like me. He's like, wait a second, wait. So the vampires live in Seattle because it's cloudy? How is that possible? How was they vampires? They ain't fucking deer. But wait a minute, that makes sense. I'm serious though. He said they sparkle. They fucking sparkle. How can they fucking sparkle? The fucking vampires.
I can't even laugh at that because I could picture him tweeting something like that tomorrow.
I just found out vampires glisten in the sun. Alright guys, that's going to be all for Beyond Classified. We'll be right back with the Squid Files. Alright everybody, welcome back. And now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, Squid Files.
It's time with Squid!
Hello, and welcome to the Squid Files. James Cameron was stricken with food poisoning, and during his illness, Cameron had a nightmare about an invincible robot hitman sent from the future to kill him, giving him the idea for the Terminator, which later capitulated his film career. Great white sharks regularly meet in the middle of the Pacific Ocean in an area known as the White Shark Cafe. At 16 years old, Randy Gardner broke the world record for the longest period a human has intentionally gone without sleeping, without using stimulants of any kind. He stayed awake for 264.4 hours, 11 days and 24 minutes. In 1991, the real-life Mickey and Minnie Mouse got married. Wayne Allwine, who was the voice of Mickey for over 32 years, met Russi Taylor, when she became the voice of Minnie in 1986. They fell in love and remained happily married until his death in 2009. Every February at the Takihini Hot Pools in Whitehorse, Canada, host a hair-freezing contest. Visitors dunk their hair into hot water, usually 40 Celsius, 104 Fahrenheit, and then let it freeze in the chilly air above -30 Celsius and -22 degrees Fahrenheit. And that has been the Squid Files.
Huh. Those are really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this hair one, I mean, I actually had to look at this picture. I mean, you know, here, you can take a look at the picture.
Why? What benefits does that have?
I have no idea. I mean, it just
kind of like midget tossing.
I mean, it basically
well, that's funny.
Like midget tossing. I mean,
I'm sorry, that's damn funny.
Insane. I mean, no.
I did not know that one about the Mickey Mouse one, though.
Yeah.
When I saw that one, that's kind of actually pretty sweet.
With the Terminator one, though, did you guys actually know that, what's his name? Wes Craven actually invented, Nightmare on Elm Street with a dream he had, too.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
He had a dream about a guy. He was in a hotel, and there was a guy he saw outside the window in the shirt that, Freddy had. And he looked at him in the window and went inside his hotel and knocked on the door. So that was Wes Craven's inspiration for Freddy Krueger.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So two legendary franchises from dream sequences. But man, that's just crazy about the.
It's kind of like LL Cool J letting those sharks from Deep Blue Sea be the inspiration for a song. You know, my head is like a shark's fin. What does that mean? What does that mean?
They killed his bird in the movie, man.
Oh, it's so
what
horrible.
does that mean? My head is like a shark's fin.
Oh my god! You know what? Speaking of, we had this conspiracy thing, dude. You know, LL Cool J is a fucking conspiracy, man. Every movie he's in, he never dies.
Really?
Yeah. He signs a contract. Every horror movie, look it up. He never dies. Deep Blue Sea, he didn't die. He had another movie with Val Kilmer in it, and I think it was called Mindhunters.
Yes.
And he didn't die in that either, but he gets fucked up.
There's four.
Yeah, I'm just damn, he's like Superman, this guy.
Yeah, that is like a shark's fin.
He's in H2O. And he doesn't die.
He does. Well, H2O. Yeah, that's true. But
he played the security guard.
No, that was Busta Rhymes, my man. That was Busta Rhymes, right? You're talking about H2O. Yeah, that's right. That's another. See, this is another thing about that. Okay, we can get into the whole fucking do black people die first in films?
No, okay, see that it is true. It was actually, and see, I think I'm the most qualified person to answer this. A person who's worked in entertainment for near over 8 fucking years. But to answer your question, yes. Up until about, I want to say 2000, it was regular. It was really regular for the black man to die in a horror film all the time. The black man always died. Now that became such a stereotype, they had to change it. In fact, it was such a stereotype they started making fun of it.
And Scary Movie.
Scary Movie.
Scary Movie was the movie that changed black people from not dying because they were had a sketch and they were like, who's going to go first?
Here's the real conspiracy. And this is the one that's true and sad. Not one movie with an all-black cast has ever won an Oscar for Best Film.
That's true.
Never.
That's true.
And I'll just keep saying it. As much as I love Leonardo DiCaprio, Beast of No Nation was a better movie.
It was and you know what? That's a big thing. That was a big waging of it. And at first, me and CT Rob had this discussion, and I was like, "What are you fucking talking about?" I was like, "No way," because he was saying the movie we're talking about was The Revenant, and I was like, "Oh, The Revenant was fucking kick ass." But then you were like, "No, Beast of No Nations, watch it," and I watched it, and pound for pound, we're talking pound for pound. That movie is better.
It is. It's
better symbolism in that movie.
You know the reason, and I've said this countless times about Revenant. It is not Leonardo's fault they did not give him the Oscar for his other movies. He deserved an Oscar for Departed, for Catch Me If You Can, for The Aviator, Inception. I can go on and on.
You can go on.
But the fact of the matter is that he wasn't complaining, but there was so much up in the air for him to get this Oscar. They had to give it to him. I feel like they had to give it to him, and they had to snub out a movie that was not. And I might add, Netflix's first original film
that is propelling
all
the series you're seeing now.
Yeah, so all the
other movies they're going to and can give up on.
But those came from Beast of No Nation.
Yes.
They started that. That was the first film. So. But we're getting a little off topic, but that's all I was going to say about that.
Well, but with this Oscars, I mean, I kind of hold hope for Hidden Figures to win a lot of awards, because it's almost an all-black cast, but I mean, basically,
it's not an all-black cast, but the main characters are
they're
all-black.
surrounded about the African American race and just all that, and I'm really hoping they win a lot of awards because. I mean, that movie.
Yeah, I saw it. It was a good film. Yeah, I saw it. It was a good film. I did have some criticisms about it, but I'm not gonna spoil anything here. But yeah, but Rob's right about it. It's just one of those things where it took like a comedy kind of spoofing on it to make people look like people would be like, well, we need to dial this back.
Yeah, because we're obviously being caught. The black guy dies in all the films. So yeah, there it is. Alright, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the Minutemen tonight. We hope you guys have a great night. Keep listening to us. Like, subscribe, listen. Otherwise, we will explode without your love.
Yep.
So please, we are growing all the time. We just broke 300 on Twitter. We thank you all for that. We
thank you so much.
Thank you for all the retweets. Thank you guys for all the love. You guys have a great fucking night. CT Rob out.
Of the end of the world, but it's feeling just like every other morning before. Now I wonder what my life is gonna mean if it's gone. The cars are moving like a half a mile an hour, and I started staring at the passengers and waving goodbye. Can you tell me what was ever really special about me all this time? But I believe the world is burning to the ground. Oh well, I guess we're gonna find out. Let's see how far we've come. Well, I believe it all is coming to an end. Oh well, I guess we're gonna pretend. Let's see how far we've come. Let's see how far we've come. We could turn 10 o'clock, but I don't really know. And I can't remember caring for an hour or so. Started crying and I couldn't stop myself. I started running, but there's nowhere to run to. I sat down on the street, took a look at myself. Said, where you going, man? You know the world is headed for hell. Say your goodbyes if you got someone you can say goodbye to. I believe the world is burning to the ground. Oh well, I guess we're gonna find out. Let's see how far we've come right now. Let's see how far we've come. I believe it all is coming to an end. Oh well, I guess we're gonna pretend. Let's see how far we've come. Okay. Let's see how far we've come. It's gone, baby, it's all gone. There's no one in the corner and there's no one at home. Well, it was cool, it was just all cool. Now it's over for me and it's over for you. Well, it's gone, baby, it's all gone. There's no one on the corner and there's no one at home. Well, it was cool.